Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. My guest today on the channel is someone who has genuinely shifted my perspective on healthy healing and having a healthy lifestyle. So please welcome Dimple Jangda.
Thank you so much, Gauri, for having me.
Thank you for allowing me to come here and being a part of this. Dimple Jangda is a celebrity Ayurvedic health coach, TEDx speaker and founder of the Prana Healthcare Centre that started in November 2017. She has represented India at Ayurveda Day Conference arranged by the Indian Consulate General in Munich, Germany. She has also been recognized for her continuous efforts to revive Ayurveda for the youth. Dimple is a recipient nominated for India's 40 Under 40 Achievers Club. She has also won Digital Women Entrepreneurs Award under the COVID Impact category by She the People Digital TV. Dimple has also received India's most trusted healthcare award for gut health and colon cleanse through Ayurveda. Featured in over 36 plus publications, Dimple has coached some incredibly accomplished people such as Juhi Chawla, Rakesham Prakash Mehra, Anjali Tendulkar and Dev Patel to name a few. I met Dimple for the first time when I took the course in Ayurveda, after which I was motivated to come for my consultation. She has always been a bundle of wisdom and knowledge, and it's truly my honor to host Dimple here as a guest today. Please welcome Dimple Jangda. It's really an honor when you said that, girl, why don't you just come here and shoot it in my studio? And I was super excited. I was like, yes, let's do that in the aura.
What it's meant to be is meant to be.
Well, thank you so much. Me and my entire team, we were super excited when you said that you guys are coming here and we're shooting it with, your grandmother's utensils, with all this stuff that you have inherited from your grandparents and your lineage. And I was like, wow, that energy itself is going to be completely different.
Actually, great-grandmother, so that's 4 generations of rich lineage and heritage that I have on the set now.
Well, it makes up a good set, so you're good.
The vibrations are perfect.
True. It's a very blessed way to start.
Yes.
Okay, so starting off with my first question. You have worked on Wall Street and have had a very corporate lifestyle living in the Big Apple. And you've been a banking investor.
That's right.
And my question to you is what made you shift gears? What was your aha moment?
It's funny when people always refer back to that part of my life as a starting point. 2014 is the peak of my career as an investment banker. When I was in New York City, the Big Apple, I had my own consultancy firm. I was advising the who's who of New York and Chicago, heading $550 million worth of transactions so single-handedly. It was the highest high of my career. I had it all, a big fat bank balance, globe-trotting lifestyle, living in high-rise hotels and apartments, rubbing shoulders with the most powerful men and women in the industry. It was the highest high. I was riding a wave, literally. Before that, I was a TV producer, I was a TV reporter, I was a copywriter in advertising. I felt like I had lived 5 lives. In a personal level also, I survived an abusive marriage, got out of multiple surgeries and stuff. 2014 was the highest high of my life, but Christmas, December 25th, 2014, I just woke up feeling absolutely clueless about who I was. For someone who had it all, social reputation, business success, financial success, happiness, great wardrobe and everything, I was like, what's going on? I checked all the boxes off my bucket list and suddenly my bucket list is empty. And I was feeling emotionally, spiritually bankrupt. That's a sentence I heard online and I was like, that exactly defines what I was feeling at that moment. Bankrupt, despite the success in the financial world. So I packed my bags, left everything in New York City. It's still waiting there for me. And moved back to India. And the next year was magical in its own way. I said, okay, because I don't have the answers to all the questions I have, I will say yes to anything and everything people ask of me. And I'll never say no. So the next thing that happened is a friend of mine invited me to London saying, come, let's celebrate your birthday here. I said, okay. I said yes to London, then Oxford, then Paris, Antwerp, Amsterdam, Zurich, Istanbul, Bali, Singapore, Hong Kong. I just kept saying yes to every trip that people were inviting me to. Solo trips, everything happened. Then I was like, what next? Feeling happy, feeling very accomplished in my own way because my bucket list was getting richer. Then came back to India and I was like, okay, let's do something interesting. Let's look at distressed assets that I can acquire and turn around. Okay. And the banks invited me to Rajasthan, Gujarat, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Karnataka to look at distressed assets. be it in heritage hotels or packaging industry or pharmaceutical industry. So I was looking at factories that I could buy and turn around. And I was feeling deliriously happy. I couldn't explain why I was happy. I was like, this is ridiculous. I'm happy and I don't know why. I'm waking up feeling happy. I'm able to clean off a big plate of thali, big plate of food with like 25 delicacies on it. The food could serve 3 people and I was able to finish and wipe it clean. Great appetite, great skin, great hair, constant smile on my face, feeling the high, riding a wave. And I was like, what is going on? And I don't smoke, I don't drink, I don't do any of those substances. I don't do anything. I'm a vegetarian and I've always had a sattvic life. And I was like, what is it that I'm riding on? I don't even drink coffee. I was like, why am I getting so high? And not even sugar on my plate. So what is it? And I realized it was nature that was making me happy. I was aligned to my truest form of nature because we're born of nature. We come from nature. We dissolve back into nature when time is right. Earth, water, fire, air, space in the purest form around us allows us to heal our body, mind and emotion and even spirit because the elements around us are constantly communicating with our body. That led me to discover Ayurveda because I wanted to put this happiness I was experiencing in a bottle and sell it to people and become a multimillionaire because that was my investment banking personality and alter ego talking to me saying, let's become rich. Let's sell happiness. And I was like, okay, to sell happiness, there are some preconditions. There should be no animal slaughter or cruelty to nature, no plastic, no harsh products or stuff like that. So the closest I came to putting in a bottle was herbs, Ayurvedic medicines, and I discovered Ayurveda in Kerala. There are 3,000 potent herbs available to mankind, designed in 650 plus medical formulations, 1,700 colon formulations. The number's endless. The R&D is continuous work in progress since 5,000 years and it will continue. So I was like, I've arrived. And there's been no looking back since then.
I mean, definitely, this is such an inspiring story. Just hearing it and just, visualizing it one phase after another. Wow, that actually gave me goosebumps as you were talking through. So it was very interesting. And I think you found your calling now. And this is what you're going to do. Continue doing, inspire people to step into the healthier version of their lifestyle. Like one person sitting right in front of you now recording stuff so that people can see this.
And you've arrived.
Yeah.
You've arrived creating content that is going to inspire people around the world.
I hope so. I really, really hope so.
Being aligned to your truest self is when you've arrived.
True.
You have to be honest to yourself. You have to be honest about your purpose, your journey, your talent, your strengths, your weakness, your areas that you need to improvise on. We're all work in progress. We're students for life. So when people say you've arrived, and I was like, I've just started. The destination is way ahead, like I can't even see the destination, but I know I've started.
Absolutely. Moving on to the next question. Going to the roots of the topic, could you please enlighten us, me and my viewers, who is Lord Dhanvantari and how he plays an essential role in the subject of Ayurveda?
So this is a very interesting story for those of you who have heard his name or not heard his name. Some people thought it was a female, some people thought it was a male. So Dhanvantari is the father of modern Ayurveda. Okay, and 5,000 years ago, when Earth was plagued by a lot of diseases, when Brahma created the universe, he created man, woman, health, happiness, but it also created diseases in its own way, right? Because we're constantly creating new bacteria and virus every single day. Like right now, we're battling a pandemic of its own kind. Dhanvantari appeared on Earth on the day of Dhanteras, which is his birth date on the materialistic world on Earth. He appeared on Earth with a pot of golden colored liquid that's called ghee. He appeared with 100-year-old ghee and he said, this is a remedy for all your maladies. This will cure your body and rid it of all kinds of diseases. So when God created the universe, or when the Big Bang Theory created the universe, there were positive particles and negative particles. There was health and there was also diseases. But there is a solution for every problem. There is a remedy for every malady, and for every disease, there is a herb in Mother Nature that is a cure. So the day Dhanvantari appeared on Earth with this remedy is called Dhanteras. Dhan means wealth. Teras is the 13th day. So it basically means health is wealth. He basically appeared with health in a golden case And we celebrate that day by buying gold, not realizing that's a day to celebrate health. Okay. Go buy herbs maybe and medicines and Ayurvedic concoctions that could boost your health. Oh, wow. So that's how Ayurveda started, and it continues. We had a whole lot of physicians and surgeons who discovered surgery. Ayurveda is the father of surgery as well. I mean, surgery was discovered by Ayurvedic physicians, and there are 8 branches. It covers all verticals. It covers pediatric science. It covers gerontology, study of senior citizens. It also covers fertility for both men and women. Toxicology, which is the study of toxins. Then there is internal medicine, general medicine. There is also psychosomatic health, which is a separate vertical. There are 8 branches altogether. So Ayurveda literally covers everything there is. There is cosmetic surgery, and there is ENT, ears, nose, and throat. Yeah. Unfortunately, I think now we practice only like 3 verticals out of these. But we are rediscovering our roots even more given the pressure of the time. And this is truly the era of immunity and preventive healthcare, because those who have immunity will survive this pandemic and several others.
I mean, that's brilliant, because you have, I think, cleared one of my doubts of what, Dhanteras is. And when you gave me the information of that Dhanteras is all about health, like, celebrating good health, I think that's something new. I'm not sure, I can't talk for other people, but for me, this has been like, wow, it's been my aha moment to know what Dhanteras is all about. So thank you so much for that.
Yeah, and coincidentally, my mother says I was born on Dhanteras. I'm not too sure. Oh. We tried retracing the Hindu calendar and we couldn't find any evidence of it. But I like to believe that maybe I was born on Dhanteras from her version of the story. And maybe this was my journey to realign myself to Dhanvantri. Maybe this was the purpose, that I spread his message in whatever way I can. And, for those of you listening, I'm not an Ayurvedic doctor. I'm an Ayurvedic food-based health coach. What I specialize is in the research of food and using food to reverse diseases, to prevent diseases, to eat as per your prakriti so you never get diseases. True. So I use food as medicine, and of course I have a team of doctors and therapists in-house. We also cure diseases with medicines and Ayurvedic treatments. We also have an academy where people study, like you yourself. We've had students from 40 different countries. In fact, your batch was one of the first highs that we had, of the several highs that followed. True. It was very interesting to see people from around the globe gather at 7 p.m. Indian time. For some people, it was 4 in the morning. Yes. They still woke up, and it was amazing how the information and the knowledge was just flowing on a Zoom workshop, and people were absorbing and aligning and applying their ancient wisdom, their theories and knowledge that they had inherited from their parents and grandparents. They were able to align all of it. They were able to join the dots. True. And there's been no looking back since then. Everyone's on a journey now.
Even I remember that during my batch, there were some really profound questions asked by, the students, like my fellow classmates. And it was just so informational, and it felt good to be around that energy, that aura of people who are just genuinely willing to try to understand. Like, for them, it was a foreign concept. For me as well, being an Indian, it was still a foreign concept because I did not have the hang of it. But the questions that came through, I remember there was this one classmate of mine, I think she was sitting in Germany, and she asked, can I make ghee at home? And I was so surprised. I was like, I'm an Indian and I never even asked her that question, but she asked you that question. So it felt really nice that, the concept is genuinely spreading across the globe.
It was 5 days of awakening for all of us, not just for the students. If you remember, I said in class, a teacher is a teacher only when the student asks the right questions. It brings out the information out of us. So maybe until then, I was teaching Ayurveda for physical health. I was talking about food for disease care. I was talking about, prakriti and ahar and nidra and brahmacharya and all the verticals of health, right? But there was a new aspect during a batch where people started asking the spiritual benefits, the mental emotional benefits of Ayurveda, which is mentioned in the text, but people rarely go that far to explore it. Sure. Ayurveda is a holistic science. Yeah. And it is written in Ayurveda, proven by modern science, that all diseases have a psychosomatic origin. So if you really want to get to the root cause of your disease, you have to go back into your memories, into your childhood, into your fetal memories also sometimes, and trace that one little conflict at a mental emotional level, which has triggered the conflict at a physical level. Okay. Disease means not at ease. Correct. And it can be at the body, mind, and emotion level. So we need to get to the root cause, and that's what Ayurveda is. Ayurveda is a preventive healthcare science that treats diseases at the root cause level versus a symptomatic treatment where they treat the symptoms and suppress the disease.
Correct.
So this is a far more deeper, holistic approach, and it's a science and an art and a language that we should all learn how to speak.
So Dimple, I've heard in class you talk about this, that Ayurveda differs from different bodies to different bodies. What is Prakriti and how can one find out the Prakriti of their own body?
So it's very interesting, because Ayurveda is like a manual from Mother Nature that teaches you how to take care of this piece of nature, right? We're a complex set of microorganisms coming together with a consciousness, with an awareness, with a voice, with a personality, right? And with an ego and everything. Ayurveda is a manual from Mother Nature. It's a science, it's an art, it's an intuitive intelligence. It lays down very specifically the rules on how to take care of your body. Okay. When you buy a car or an electronic, it comes with a manual. Yes. So say if you buy a petrol car, you spent a lot of money on it. Yeah. It's dear to you. And I'm going to tell you, put diesel in this. And you'll be like, no, but this is an expensive car. I'm not going to experiment with it. But I'll be like, why not? You'll be like, because it says it's a petrol car. That's it. I don't have to explain, right? The same thing applies in Ayurveda. Everybody falls in 7 different categories of the body type. Okay. So just like how the car manufacturer makes 10 models of the car and 1 million units of each, Mother Nature has made 7 types of bodies, 1 billion units of each, making the 7.5 billion people in this world. So it's not a coincidence. Just like how your blood group is fixed at the time of creation, at the time of birth, your blood group is fixed. You're born as an O positive. So you're not going to suddenly become B positive or AB positive just because you got married or divorced or finished your graduation or became 50 years old, right? The events in your life cannot alter your DNA or your body type. Ayurveda says our Ayurvedic body type is determined at the time of being conceived based on the health of the sperm, health of the egg, health of the uterus, and the kind of diet that the mother followed during pregnancy. These 4 factors will determine your Ayurvedic body type, and this is going to remain fixed from the time of creation until the very end. It is next to impossible for your body type to change. It could happen 1 in a billion due to a rare deformity or whatever reason, which is 1 in billion literally. So there are 7 body types. There is Kapha dominant body type, where earth and water is more dominant in your body compared to the other 3 elements. There's Pitta dominant body type, where fire and water is more dominant compared to earth, air and space. There is Vata dominant body type, where air and space is more dominant in your body compared to earth, water, fire. And then there are dual body types. You can be a Kapha Pitta dominant, Kapha Vata dominant, Pitta Vata dominant. And the 7th is a 3 dosha body type, where all 3 doshas are dominant. So doshas, there are 3. Kapha, Pitta, Vata. Elements, there are 5. So to go in reverse, there's earth, water, fire, air, and space. And when these 5 elements come together in a state of balance, it leads to balance and good health of the body, mind, and emotion. But even if one element goes out of balance, it leads to diseases connected to that element. So when earth and water comes together, it becomes the kapha dosh, which is a biological building block that builds bones, muscles, tissues, teeth, nails, hair in your body, and basically gives your body structure, stability, and support. It's the basic building block. Okay, so that's why between the age of 0 to 14, we're building a kapha biological block. We're building our bones, muscles, tissues, teeth, nails, and hair. We're growing vertically. Okay. And we're getting bigger. The second building block is called Pitta. It's made of fire and water. So when fire and water comes together, it is responsible for all chemical and metabolic transformations in your body. So the food being transformed into digestive juices, into the energy that you need to build various tissues, the plasma being transformed into blood, the blood being transformed into muscles, into fat, into bones, into tissues. That transformation point is taken care of by Pitta.
Wow.
All chemical and metabolic transformations, even an idea being transformed into an end project is due to the presence of Pitta. Your eye at any point in time consumes 10 million bits of information. Pitta transforms that information into reality, into perception, because I can't sit and analyze every bit of information I've gathered. I need a perception. I just need to know that I'm talking to Gauri and there are camera and lights. That's it. That's enough for me to know to continue the conversation. I don't need to know the color of every inch of fabric. So that's Pitta. Vata is air and space, and it's responsible for all movements in your body. Your lungs contracting and expanding, the blood circulating in your body, the food moving from your stomach to your intestines, the waste moving out of the colon. The mother's ability to push the baby out is also due to presence of Vata, and movement of thoughts in your mind is also due to the presence of Vata. That's where your creativity, your thought processes, your ability to understand things come from. So these three biological building blocks are present in all human bodies, but in different proportions, different ratios, different permutations and combinations, which gives us 7 unique body types and 7.5 billion people with unique fingerprints. No two humans are the same, no two bodies are the same, no two diets will ever be the same, which is why Ayurveda is what is called a personalized science that allows you to design a diet and lifestyle based on your prakriti, your body type, which is your body constitution, based on your age, seasonal factors, climatic conditions, the topography and geography you're living in, your genetic information as well. That's the personalized science that you get the benefit of from Ayurveda.
I mean, I remember I've studied this and under your wing, and you have taught me the subject of Ayurveda with a class full of people. But the more you talk about it, the more it just gets in depth. The knowledge just keeps growing and growing and growing. Like, I don't feel like there's an end limit to the subject of Ayurveda, genuinely.
We will not be able to wrap our head around all the information that this universe has, or Mother Nature has, or Ayurveda has, in one lifetime. It's not possible. There are doctors in my clinic who have been studying and practicing Ayurveda for the last 50 years, and in their spare time they're still studying. They're still reading books, because there's no end to how much information you can learn. The more you learn, the more you realize how little you know. This is literally just touching a drop in the ocean. But the point is to get started.
What is the difference between Dinataria and Ritucharia?
There's an intense topic by itself, right? We've just got introduced to the whole world of Ayurveda, and now we're talking about how to introduce Ayurvedic rituals in our daily life. Dinacharya means daily rituals, the things you do on a daily basis to eliminate toxins regularly instead of letting it get accumulated in the body. So there are a whole series of things that we are already doing. Like, we all brush our teeth. Do we know anyone who doesn't brush the teeth and leave the house or doesn't take a shower?
I hope not.
Very rare, right? It's literally rare, not just for social appearances. It's self-hygiene and self-love and self-care. None of us would do that to ourselves where we don't brush our teeth. Ayurveda mentions a whole series of rituals. Like, my favorite ones would be waking up 45 minutes before sunrise, because between 5 to 7 a.m. the colon is most active, Vata is more predominant, Vata is movement. It allows us to push the waste out effectively from our body. So 45 minutes before sunrise, that's called the first ritual. And that's also the Brahma Muhurat, where you can actually access the Akashic records through your crown chakra. You can also meditate, resolve issues. Even if you don't believe in religion and spirituality, it's okay. This is a great time for you to strategize and think long term about what you want. Or also a great time for you to not think at all, to go into a state of shunyam quotient, which is a state of zero, where you're not pulled by the polarities of life. This is something I've learned from Dr. Miki Mehta, who's also a mentor. You're not pulled by the left and right, by the attractions or distractions, by the polarities of life. You're neither creating issues or resolving issues. You're just in a state of being. You're not making decisions. You're just going to let it be. So that's a great time for you, 5 to 7 a.m. Then after this, we do a whole series of things like stretching, exercises to aid the bowel movements. You can drink 200 ml of warm water, empty stomach. But before that is the dental rituals, which is very important. There's oil pulling, swishing oil in the mouth. There is gargling of the throat, brushing the teeth, scraping the tongue, introduce medicine through the nostrils to clear your sinuses, or steaming, full body massage to increase blood circulation, dry powder massage to break the subcutaneous fat and lose weight. Losing weight was the first rule of Ayurveda, because thinning of the body means letting go of unwanted fat, undigested food, and a whole lot of diseases. Then we take a warm bath, we drink 200 ml of warm water to flush the toxins down. We have herbal teas and spice teas. We have a bowl of fruits, some pre-soaked dry fruits, pre-soaked overnight. After an hour, you have a good breakfast, which is fibrous, but not too big. Having a big breakfast is a big mistake. You always have a small breakfast, big lunch, and a small dinner before sunset. And there are some more rituals like, on how to drink water. Like, you don't drink water when standing up. You drink water half an hour before every meal, not during the meal, not after the meal. Drink 1 glass of water before taking a shower to control your blood pressure. 1 glass of water before going to bed to prevent cardiac arrest. There's a whole series of rituals prescribed in Ayurveda that allows us to maintain the health of the healthy rather than waiting to get sick, because prevention is better than cure. It's easier to maintain the health of the health than cure the sickness of the sick. And that's what is mentioned in Ayurveda. When all your doshas, 3 doshas, your saptadhatus, the 7 tissues, are aligned, and you're eliminating waste effectively, it leads to wellness of the body, mind, emotion, and the spirit. So that's Dinacharya.
Okay.
Ritucharia is seasonal regime. Okay. Just like how you see plants, herbs change based on the seasons. You don't grow the herb in all seasons. You don't grow rice in all seasons. There's a season for every lentil, grain, pulse that has been grown. Every fruit and a vegetable has a season to it. Ritucharya applies even to human beings. At the end of the day, we're at the mercy of earth, water, fire, air, space to maintain our health, right? So when the season changes, your rituals also have to change. For example, winter is a great time for you to eat a lot of bitter foods in your diet, warm pungent spices to keep your body warm, drinking warm water, having medicated bitter ghee to detoxify your body, massaging your body to release toxins. Autumn is a great time for you to do treatments like Rakta Mokshan, which is bloodletting, removing toxic blood from under your skin. Rainy season is a great season for you to do Basti treatment, that is removing toxins and Vata imbalance from the colon. Every season has a seasonal regime which specifies what foods to eat, fruits and vegetables to consume, and what foods to avoid. So that's why we say eat local, eat seasonal, live global.
Okay.
Okay, so when you eat seasonal, you're consuming the local bacterial enzymes that is going to enhance your immunity, your metabolism, your digestion, and allows you to acclimatize to the climate.
Got it.
Just like how you get jet lagged, otherwise you'll get climate lagged. Every time the season changes, you start with a series of diseases. Like suddenly it's like the flu season.
Yeah.
That means you haven't acclimatized.
Correct.
So that's what Ritucharya does.
So you talked about the food, the consumption of food. And as a kid, I have heard that, eat breakfast like a king, eat lunch like a queen, and dinner like a beggar. And you've literally just demystified it right now, saying that, you shouldn't eat too much at breakfast.
No.
So can you talk a bit more about that?
It's such a big misconception that all of us have been doing without realizing it. Literally, imagine you have a child at home. You're going to wake up the child, give it a 20 kg bag and say, go to school right now. Child is going to be shocked and confused, saying, what are you doing, right?
Yeah.
The child's just woken up. What do you do to a child? You wake up the child with love, kindness, affection, a few kisses and hugs maybe, brush the teeth, give them a glass of warm milk, then nourish them, give them a nice bath and a small breakfast. Yeah. And then you send them to school. The same thing applies to your stomach. Your stomach is literally like a baby that has just woken up. You don't dump a lot of food on it saying, hey, you woke up, now try and digest this. I've just woken up. I'm just creating digestive juices. Give me some time. So this is what we have to now change, because in the last 50, 60 years in schools, we've all learned eat breakfast like a king, lunch like a queen, dinner like a pauper. That's the only thing that is correct.
Yeah.
Okay, so your breakfast has to be a small meal. Your lunch has to be the biggest meal of the day because the sun is at the peak and your metabolic fire is also the peak. And just before the sun sets, your small dinner should happen. Dinner usually 3 hours before going to bed, so that it's fully digested before you go to sleep. You can't go to sleep with food in your stomach, and eating food after sunset is forbidden in Ayurveda for a lot of medical reasons. A lot of religions also stress on it, because what it says is the digestive juices have stopped being produced in the stomach and the metabolic fire is set with the sun. So the food will stay in your stomach overnight until next morning and start rotting till the sun rises again. So it's like keeping the food outside your refrigerator an entire night. It's going to smell bad. True. The same thing's going to happen inside your stomach. The food is going to start rotting, start smelling. There'll be parasites and bacteria breeding in it, and thus diseases.
Just thinking about it make me go squeamish completely. So you've addressed the fact that, someone needs to wake up with the sun and get their day-to-day routine in set with the sun. I remember even in class, you stressed about the fact of the circadian rhythm and the importance of it. So my question to you is, how does one really bring that, incorporate the circadian rhythm in our modern day life where I know that people like me who are, working continuously sleep at 3 in the morning sometimes because of Zoom calls and client sessions. Sleeping, with the sun and getting up with the sun is a far-fetched dream. So how can someone like me who has a busy lifestyle genuinely incorporate this into a lifestyle?
Even animals, plants and birds follow the circadian rhythm of the sun.
Yes.
Flowers bloom in the morning and then they close in the evening. Animals eat during the day and usually they don't go hunting at night looking for food unless they are, animals that keep awake at night, like owls. Very few make an exception to it, right? Human beings are aligned to the position of the sun. Their digestive system especially corresponds directly to the position of the sun. So literally when the sun rises, your metabolic fire wakes up and starts rising. When the sun is at the peak, your metabolic fire is also at the peak. When the sun sets, the metabolic fire also sets. So the metabolic fire in your stomach corresponds to the position of the sun, which thus defines what your meal size should be. Small breakfast, big lunch, small dinner. That's one. Circadian rhythm of the sun also says that intermittent fasting begins at sunset and you break your intermittent fasting after sunrise. A lot of people make mistakes there. They think intermittent fasting is all about numbers. It's not. It's about the correct time of starting it. So a lot of people end up having like a big 7-course meal for dinner because they have to socialize, and they end up eating till 11:30, 12 in the night. They start the intermittent fasting at 12 midnight or 2 in the morning sometimes, and that goes on till mid-afternoon. You have lost the peak of the sun when your metabolic fire was the highest, when your body's ability to digest the food, absorb and assimilate the nutrients is also at the highest. Your performance is at peak.
Got it.
In noon. So this is circadian rhythm. So as a busy person who's working a lot, this is some basic things that you can do. Instead of working late nights, start working early mornings. You'll notice that your productivity levels are much higher. Your faculties are much sharper early morning than late night.
Got it.
Right? So what work you do over 4 hours, you'll be able to finish in 1 hour if you do wake up early in the morning. Okay. The 5 a.m. club was designed by Robin Sharma and a lot of these amazing intellectuals in the world, and they thrive and abide by it. The early riser gets the worm. Okay. So try and shift your work to early morning slots. It will take a few days to acclimatize. Eat based on the position of the sun, based on the seasonal changes as well, and aim to fall asleep before 10 p.m. if you can, if you want to avoid active dreams, because 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. is the Pitta clock when your body goes into a deep REM sleep to repair damaged tissues, muscles and nerve and restore all organs back to good health. Have you noticed when you have had a late night party and you stayed up till 2 in the morning or 3 in the morning, you missed that deep REM sleep. You party another night maybe. Yeah. But the third night, your body crashes and shuts down, says, no ways. Even if you want to go for this party, I refuse to wake up.
Correct.
Because the body is now trying to repair. If you do not sleep before 10 p.m. and between 2 a.m., you are losing that valuable time to reverse the aging process, to reverse the damages of the day. You're postponing it to another day. And if you continue this late night thing of working till late hours and not giving your body the adequate rest and sleep and love that it needs, you will end up accumulating damage, which will then lead to serious consequences in your health. Okay. It begins there. Circadian rhythm literally fixes all problems at a physical health level, digestion, metabolism. It also fixes problems at the mental, emotional level. Like a lot of people have anxiety, stress, depression nowadays. It's becoming like a very common disorder. Okay. It is caused due to not following the circadian rhythm. Okay. Literally, that's the main root cause. And of course, the second is colon health, keeping your gut clean, colon clean. That's the second root cause of depression.
So talking about colon health, I remember even when we were in class and then when I came for my consultation to the Prana clinic, you emphasized about the fact that your colon has to be clean, and you also said that 90% of the diseases sprout from bad colon health.
Yes, it's such an important topic. Again, written in Ayurveda, proven by modern science. All your leading universities like Harvard, Atlanta, Georgia, Maryland University have released tons of research talking about the importance of colon health. 90% of the diseases begin in the colon. An unhealthy colon could lead to basic issues like constipation, diarrhea, irritable bowel syndrome. Do not ignore it. If the problem has persisted for more than 14 days, it has become a chronic disease already. Constipation is something that people overlook. You know, they've normalized not going to the bathroom for 2 days or 3 days in a row. They've normalized it in some countries. They like, it's okay to just go to the bathroom once in 2-3 days. No, it's not okay. You eat 3 times a day. You must eliminate waste effectively at least once a day, every day, right? If you do not eliminate waste, the colon starts getting ruptured. It's like a trash bag in the house that you haven't changed for 20 years. What is going to happen? The cells are getting ruptured, the new cells are not getting regenerated, old cells are not getting removed effectively, it's ruptured, it's leaking, it is got holes in it, suddenly all the undigested food and toxins are getting absorbed by the uterus, causing a whole lot of gynecological disorders, it's leaking into the bloodstream. The same blood that is circulating to your damaged colon, where the toxins are collected, is also circulating to your brain. So toxins that haven't been eliminated re-enter the bloodstream, get circulated to the brain, heart, liver, kidney, intestines and all of them, causing psychosomatic imbalances like anxiety, stress, depression, lack of coordination, lack of concentration. In fact, if you have a bad stomach, you can't focus at work. If you have gases, bloating, indigestion, acidity, you can't focus.
That's true.
Right? Because your gut, your colon supersede the brain. Okay?
True.
And then it leads to a whole lot of neurological disorders also, like Parkinson, Alzheimer's, insomnia. It triggers gynecological disorders, gastrointestinal disorders, abdominal health issues, bronchial disorders, skin diseases, all the way up to toenail fungus. Right from constipation to clinical depression, common cold to cancer, has been linked to an unhealthy colon.
Wow.
That's how important it is to keep your colon clean. And that's why we stress on Panchakarma treatment, where we cleanse the body of toxins on a yearly basis, besides doing Dinataria, which is eliminating toxins on a daily basis. True. Panchakarma is something that all of us should do. It's like a master checkup for the body with Ayurvedic medicines and herbs. We're not just checking what the problem is and discovering where we're lacking. We're removing the problem from the root cause. True. So that's Ayurveda and Panchakarma for you.
And Prana offers a Panchakarma treatment.
We specialize in Panchakarma. In fact, our Ayurvedic Panchakarma treatment is intense. We have about 3,000 herbs, 650 medicines, 1,700 colon formulations. And we've been blessed to treat a lot of diseases, right from post-chemotherapy cancer patients, multiple sclerosis, paralysis, kidney stones, gallbladder stones, clinical depression, to common cold, weight issues. We've had the honor and the luxury of treating these patients, and the results have been amazing.
Because I remember when I came in for my Panchakarma treatment, everyone in the clinic was so helpful, right from Jignasha to the doctor to even the help around in the clinic. Everyone was so helpful, and you were like checking up on me every day. So really, if you are in Mumbai, definitely come down to Prana and get a Panchakarma treatment, get a consultation done with Dimple and the doctors available, because it's a game changer. Like, it's going to take you to the next level of your healthcare, your personal healthcare altogether.
So glad. And in fact, even if you're not in Bombay, this is another thing that we've developed. We do video consultations for patients from 49 countries, and the medicines will be shipped to you no matter which part of the world you're in. The diet will be emailed to you. So you don't have to come to us to start being healthy. Start right where you are. Health is available at your doorstep.
Perfect. There you go. So diving into my next question, Ayurveda is an Indian healing modality. So my question basically to you is that how can people who are living out of India, who don't have access to the Ayurvedic herbs, the Ayurvedic treatments or the medicines, like you said, you ship them across, but people who are very new to the whole concept and they just want to try something to see what kind of a difference it makes for them. Yeah. So what are the few things that they can do with the resources available to them?
Yeah. So, this is the beauty of India. We gave the world zero, without which the financial markets would collapse. We also gave the world yoga, which even though is Indian, originated from here, it is practiced around the world. So it has no nationality, ethnicity, caste, creed, barrier to it. It has no religion as well. Ayurveda is the same. Ayurveda basically means Ayu plus Veda. Ayu means life, Veda means knowledge. So anything that allows you to improve your longevity, to prevent diseases, cure diseases, maintain the health is called Ayurveda. Everybody is practicing Ayurveda around the world in their own ways. For example, if you look at the Amazonian tribe, they are practicing Ayurveda. They are aligning themselves to the rules of Mother Nature, the Circadian Rhythm, Dinataria, Ritucharia rituals. They don't use the same words as us.
Okay.
If you look at the indigenous tribe in America, they're also following the rules of nature, which allows them to improve their life. So it has a different name and connotation everywhere. Like in France, during winters, they will have a lot of sourdough bread, which is fermented, which helps in enhancing the gut flora. They will have a lot of wines and aperitifs and digestives, which enhances the metabolic fire because there is no sun outside.
True.
All of these are wisdom or nuggets of health passed on by many generations, by your parents, grandparents, ancestors, who have perfected the science of health.
True.
Now, Ayurveda is, of course, finding its origin in India. It was born in India and now it's available around the world. Now, there are herbs and spices that luckily can be shipped around the world. Okay. Every country has a little India, a market where you can go and buy spices like turmeric, cinnamon, cardamom, clove, grated ginger, pepper, star anise, cumin seeds, fennel seeds, coriander seeds, clove oil. These are stuff that you must stock up on. Okay. And luckily for me, wherever I've lived, I've always carried India with me. So if I was living in New York, in Staten Island, I carried a whole lot of spices with me. And then I discovered I didn't have to carry it. It's available. And my host was a Polish lady who's now accustomed to spices in her house, like 7 years down the line, she's still cooking with spices.
Wow.
Right? So this is the beauty of it. You can introduce it in any part of the world. Of course, if you're living very far off and if you don't have access to spices, at least study Ayurveda. We have a 10-hour masterclass on level 1. We have up to 100 hours of teaching available on our online learning management system. Sign up for a course. Learn about food combinations to eat and food combinations to avoid. It's called Viruddha Ahar. Viruddha means wrong. Ahar means food. Wrong combinations of food that can become poisonous in the body and lead to diseases. So at least if you learn about food and its properties, you can learn how to design your own diet from our course to be personalized towards your prakriti. You have to find out what your prakriti is through the course, then design a diet chart with a whole list of vegetables, fruits, spices, nuts that's suitable for you, and a whole list that you should avoid, methods of cooking, recipes to maintain your dosha and imbalances, to check imbalances at an early stage so that it doesn't become a disease. Studying is empowering.
True.
So you don't have to have access to a Panchakarma center to go practice Ayurveda. Ayurveda is something that you practice at home on a daily basis, in your kitchen, in the way you live, in the way you eat, in the way you wake up, in the way you work out, in the kind of mattress you sleep in, the kind of clothes you wear. Ayurveda has a lot of rules and information to help you live a better, healthy, more powerful now. So no matter where you are, please do practice Ayurveda.
So basically an art of living.
Definitely an art of living. This is a true art of living, I would say. And I'm not saying that Ayurveda is more powerful or popular or instrumental towards good health than yoga or homeopathy or naturopathy. No. Every health modality has a role to play, be it Ayurveda, naturopathy. Even allopathy has a place and a role to play. Do not satanize any science. For acute diseases, you have to go to an allopath. For chronic diseases, you have to come to Ayurveda. And yoga is to maintain your body. And the whole purpose of Ayurveda and yoga is to keep your body disease-free and maintain the health so you can meditate to attain salvation. That's the final goal of any science.
Yes.
That allows you to break the cycle of life and death.
I mean, that's very profound. And I think on that profound note, I just want to ask you the last question. So the last question is, in the current era where 2020 brought the great awakening about immunity and how important it is for us to have a very good, healthy lifestyle, what role does Ayurveda play in it?
Ayurveda talks about boosting immunity on a daily basis, boosting your metabolic fire and your digestion. It's a continuous work in progress. Rome was not built in a day.
Yes.
Immunity cannot be built in a day. Suddenly the pandemic was announced and everybody started buying a whole lot of Chyawanprash and Kadas and started drinking it. Great awakening, but too little too late. This is something that we should have been doing on a daily basis every single day. Luckily for us, even before the pandemic was announced as a pandemic, we had sent out a whole lot of literature to our patients and students saying these are the herbs that you need to consume to boost your immunity against this virus, right from neem, Philanthus niruri, brahmi, guruchi, amla, Chyawanprash. Then there was a whole lot of other herbs that we kept emphasizing on, ashwagandha, shatavari, colloidal silver, great immunity booster again. None of our patients and students succumbed to this virus.
Yeah.
There was barely 1 or 2 out of the 4,000 people who contracted the virus, no symptoms, asymptomatic situation, and they recovered quickly. They regained their sense of smell and taste and everything. That's the power of Ayurveda. It boosts your immunity. It's like your armor. It's like your defense wall against all kinds of bacteria and virus. Now, this is not the first virus that is going to affect humanity. There has been 10 such viruses, 10 such epidemics in the last 20 years. We had SARS, influenza, Ebola, Zika virus, AIDS, the swine flu. We had a whole lot of epidemics. And this is not the last epidemic. Every few months or years, nature is going to purge a virus it doesn't want. And those who are weak, who don't have an immunity, will contract the virus and either suffer or succumb to it, which is unfortunate. Yeah. Build your immunity, not just for your own sake, but also for your loved ones. So that is the paramount duty. And this is something I say time and again, your body is not a gift. It's a duty that Mother Nature has imposed on you. There are lots of people who are born without limbs or without the perfect health and perfect body. Yeah. We are blessed to have a functional body. We're blessed to have access to knowledge. The fact that you're listening to this YouTube episode itself means you're very entitled and blessed. You have access to resources. So please take advantage of this to take care of your body. It's a duty, because when you receive a gift from someone, say if I give you a dress you borrow from me, you wear it, and if you're going to return it back with holes and burn marks and sauce and ketchup stains on it, our friendship will not be the same anymore. right? It's going to damage our friendship, right? The same rule applies to Mother Nature. Mother Nature gave you such a beautiful body at the time of birth, which was devoid and free of all kinds of diseases and radical elements. It was alkaline, it was beautiful in the state of purity. When we pass on, we must return the body back to Mother Nature without diseases.
True.
So let's embrace the end gracefully, beautifully, live our life in a more healthy, more powerful manner till the very end. Don't wait to get sick. Don't just keep investing in insurance so that you can buy yourself a hospital bed and a ventilator to die on. Instead, invest in preventive healthcare so that you can live a better, healthy life right now with yourself and your loved ones. That's the whole concept of Ayurveda, the power of now.
I mean, that's a very big aha moment just for me, just listening to it and just taking it all in. And all I can genuinely say is, wow. I mean, there's so much more for me to study, and there's so much more for me to, get into and keep learning. But thank you, sweetheart. Thank you so much for your time and your energy. And I know how busy you are, and the fact that you took out the time for me and my crew to come in and shoot this episode means a lot to me and to everyone present here. So thank you for the bottom of my heart. Really.
Most welcome. Like I said, Prana, the vision statement is, I keep repeating to every member who joins the team, our vision and our mission is to make Ayurveda a global phenomena and a household practice. We want everybody amongst the 7.5 billion people around the world to practice Ayurveda, irrespective of your nationality, caste, creed, religion, ethnicity, sexual orientation, or the diet or the cuisines you like. Doesn't matter which part of the world you're from. Ayurveda has a role to play, and this is the era of immunity, the era of preventive healthcare life science. Either you change with the wave or you succumb to the pressures. So flow with the river. Please make Ayurveda a daily practice, not something that you go to when all other methods and sciences have failed, then it's too little too late. And I hope you all embrace Ayurveda just like how Gauri has and rest of us have.
No, thank you so much for this. Really, this has been a profound experience, not just for me. I can even speak in behalf of my crew here. I think it's been a profound experience for everyone being a part of this and being a part of this conversation. And thank you so much, guys, for tuning into today's episode. And if you want more such content, then please do like, share, and subscribe. And please hit the bell icon for more such videos coming your way, filled with immense knowledge and a lot of wisdom. Thank you, sweetheart.